Good morning, everyone, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, well, something that I think that some people fall victim to this more than others, but we all do it, and it's something that's extremely common in programming. It's in fact very common in specifically code reviews and like basically any type of situation where you are forced to evaluate another person's code. Now, what I'm talking about is the difference between bad code and different code, or rather code that you didn't write yourself. Now, I have a colleague today, which he's an amazing programmer. He is an amazing individual overall, and I really feel very lucky that he's on my team. And he has this thing that I have seen so many times, where whenever I push a commit to the repository, we use GitLab, by the by, which is an amazing tool for, like, if you're starting your own startup and you need some type of tool to, to manage commits and merge requests and all that good stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend you have a look at that product. It's really nice. I have no affiliation whatsoever, but it's a good tip. It's a great platform. And whenever we push anything to that pipe, and he's supposed to do a code review, I honestly think that I will never get a commit by this guy without him mentioning something about a better name for a function, maybe a slightly different way of allocating a few variables, or maybe I should use a map instead of a for. There's all these tiny subtle little differences that he expresses, and maybe this is just me, but we had a little talk about this. Now, I usually comply. I'm very I'm very kind of loose with these things. I don't put so much effort and emphasis on these topics. And the reason why I don't do that is because, and this is what I told him, the reason why I don't do it is because I view myself as a member of a team. It's just like playing sports. Now, no one on the team is going to be able to be on that team without having a little bit of individuality. The goal for us all is to work towards a common, to win the game, or like a common goal of some sort. But each player has his or her own strengths and weaknesses and style. And the coach, or in our case, our product manager, the job of that person is to figure out how to maximize the talent and individuality of each player. Now, when I write a piece of software, that software will be nuanced, or the style of my code will reflect the experiences and the way that I think, which means that of course it's not going to reflect what you think. Your code is always going to be a little bit different from my code, but that's okay. Or rather, it should be okay. The goal is not for me to convince you to write things the way that I write them, or do exactly the thing I do. If you want and you see a value and you adopt the principles that I use, that's great. I mean, if you like it, that's amazing. If you don't, that's still okay. Because my goal when I do a code review especially is not to sit here and tell you that this should be that and that should be that. The goal is for me to have a look at what you wrote and ask myself, can I understand this? Is this maintainable? Does it do what it needs to be doing? Do I see any problems with it? Because if we go down the route of, hey, the style that you're using, or I want to rewrite this because I didn't write it the way, or rather it's not written the way that I want it to be written, we spend a lot of time, in my opinion, we waste a lot of time doing things that aren't all that important, honestly.